What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a My Hero Academia drawing. We're going to be doing Midoriya versus Todoroki. So, two characters. White page. Use a pencil and hit pause if I go too fast. And we're going to start with Midoriya over here on the right hand side. So we're going to start with his nose. The tip of his nose is just here, and we're going to start with a diagonal line down like so. So the middle of my page is about here, and we're just over this side of the middle line. So then the top of his nose curves up this way, and then this line comes up towards his hair. It's like his brow. So we've got kind of this zigzag line going on just here. And then we have a line for his hair just here where it meets his hair. It just goes up this way. And then he's kind of a frown line then in here. And then his eyebrow is just beside this frown line here. So we got the tick for his eyebrow here. And it's going to tick right up. Nearly straight up. It's going to go up across the top of his eye. Like so. And we could make this frown line a bit longer. Right, so then the inside line for his eye is just here. Curved line there. The bottom eyelid, so his cheek, his head is like tilted this way, so that means the cheek is going to go back up like so. And it's just one or two lines there. And then his back eyelid curves up and around and into here. He has a piece of hair coming over this eye, but we'll just draw that over these lines. If you're using pencil, which I recommend, you can rub that out after. And he's got like a thicker sort of line at the back here. So he's got like a thick, sort of scratchy kind of line there. And maybe comes around a bit down here. Just a bit of a shadow around the back of his eye. And then his pupil. So his pupil just in here in the corner. Like so. Kind of looking this way, and then a dot in the center, just there. Now, so his top lip and his cheek. So we got a line curving down this way, like so. And then we're going to bring this down to his chin, down to there. His mouth is open, so this line is real long. And how far in we go, we're underneath just the edge of his eye. See that? So that's where his chin is. Just at the back of his eye, down here. Straight underneath it. You could use your pencil to line it up. So that's where you're curving into. And then his jaw, real pointy chin. His jaw is going to come up. Back this way. Into about there. And then in here we have his mouth. So his top lip, just here. Following that line for his jaw. This way. And then it comes down like so. Curves around and goes back for the bottom. Just to there. It's kind of a square letter C. It's kind of an angular line. And then this, we join this back up to here. So we go back up. Like so. And then we can see teeth and his tongue. So we'll do the bottom teeth first, it's probably easier. This comes up and over into there. And we can see his tongue in here. And then the top teeth, so they kind of look like gum shields. I don't know if you've ever played rugby or football. So this comes down like so, and then it comes back into the back of his mouth. And then we have the top line for the teeth coming back this way. Comes back down towards the tongue, like so. And then those back portions just there. He's got his freckles on his face. So like one there, 4 of them. Might be an extra frown line or 2 in here. Right, we'll do some of that hair. So we've got a hair spike coming down over his eye, just here. We have another one that comes back this direction, like so. And then we bring that back into here, like that. And then we're coming down towards his sideburn now. So we're going to bring this down, like this. And then we have a couple of spikes just here. And this is the sideburn that's right next to his ear. So we can see just a spike here, and maybe another one here. And then his ear comes out from here. Comes out just like here, down into there. And then back in to where his jaw would be, where it would join up. Just there. And then there's all bones and ligaments and stuff inside his ear. So we do a line like this, like so, letter J. You can add more detail then if you want. Like that. And then we can see the back of his neck, just coming down from his earlobe, just there. The front of his neck then is here, comes down this way. There might be a bit of a shadow. In there. And then we can see like the collar of his school uniform. Just here, that UA uniform. So it comes across, comes down, back in, kind of zigzagging down. And then it comes in towards that center line. Just here. And then we have the other side. So it comes up this way. And then this is going to go around the back of his neck, just into there. And then we have the inner line, just here. Right, so we'll do the rest of his hair before we move on down the body. So we have hair spikes all sticking out. So Midoriya, lots of hair spikes sticking out here, coming out, and we'll go around the head. So there's another one here. This one comes up into there. This one will kind of come across it. And then another small one here, coming back into there. Up like so. This is what we got so far. This comes up, starting to go sort of back around his head now. So we've a long one that goes back, spike up, spike back, down, long line again, spikes up, spike down, another one this way, back in, this way, spiking down. Just following this shape for his head now. And the last few just kind of go behind his collar. Where's the last one? Let me see. Like here. And then the back of his collar is like here. And of course Midoriya has black sections and green sections inside his hair, so we got to separate those out. So let's see, he's got a spike here, right? And then we have a green section, let's see, just here. So this is a green spike section just there, so that's green. Around here is black. So in here is green, it's like a little triangle. Then this comes up and around it. Like to there. This comes back in here. Then we bring it like down this way. So these are all green inside. This comes back up. Like so. Back into there. Another green section here. Another one in here. And this is green. There. Adding some zigzag patterns every now and then. Just like so. So this is like black inside, all this. And this is green. So that means, yeah, another one here. Just there. So that's all black in there. This is green, 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 green. And we probably have another little section just here. Green in there. And the rest is black. This is all black back here. This is all black in here as well. Okay, so we'll do the sort of curved line for like his torso. So coming down from just the corner of his collar here, we're gonna bring a line down like this. So that's like the front of his chest. And this starts to come down this way. Right? So I guess we gotta do his hand first before we deal with like... No, we'll do his shoulder. We'll do his shoulder first. Because his hand is like in here. And there's like his little finger is down here. So we'll do his shoulder. Right, so we'll go across like so. Bumping twice here. And then a big curve line that way. It goes off the back of my page. That's all I can fit in. So then the curve, the round line for his shoulder is just in here. And it goes off that way, towards his elbow. So the outside line for that is a double line. It's part of his uniform. And then we have another fold line in here. Goes off my page that way. And then we have some of that UA colors just here, coming around his shoulder. And then some more stuff on his back. So there's like something here. Not sure what it is, but it's there. Part of his uniform maybe. Just back there. And then this meets his arm or his wrist, right? So coming down to like here. Right, so that's say his wrist. His elbow is like off back here. And then this is going to curve up, bumping here. It's going to come up to his index finger. So he's like his hand is like that, sort of coming across the screen, coming across this way. Suppose one finger at a time. So we'll go up this way and around like so. This curves down, comes back in. We have a bump here for that top of his finger. And then sort of that webbing that's in between your fingers in here. So we're going to do a line for that just there. Then the next finger comes up from here, curves around the top of his finger. So real curvy, comes around there and then back in. And then we've some of that webbing again. So they look kind of stumpy because his fingers are kind of foreshortened. They go towards the camera. So my fingers, if as you're looking at them here, they look long, but then as I lift up, they should get shorter looking, like the distance from here to here. And then they'll just get, like, you can just see the tops of them then when it's straight up. So that's why they look kind of short here. So, but that's what you're going for. It makes it a bit more realistic. Bit of perspective. Next finger here. Curves around. Back in to there. And then his little finger just down here. And then he's got fingernails inside each one of these. Like this. Just there. And you can add kind of knuckle lines in each section. One here. And then we'll go the other side of his hand. So it comes out just from his little finger just here. Comes back in towards his wrist. We have that bone for your wrist just here. Pops out back in to his hand. And then his forearm goes off that way. And then we just need to draw some lines. So just like here. Line for that finger. Got like a knuckle line here. Maybe another one here. Making that a bit longer. And then like some lines here. Just to show his back of his hand. And then his thumb. So it's just going to come out here, back in, curving, bumping down. And then maybe the inside of the palm of his hand, just there. Right. So then the rest of his torso then will come down this way. And you might see some of his leg. Like coming out here, like it's just a fold line for his leg. Right, so we can see UA markings and stuff inside here. We'll make this a double line first. And then we'll do this line here. Make it a double. Make mine a double. And then, right, so the actual UA, the U and the A part are like going straight down, like here. It comes down this way. We're going to jump over a belt or something, just here. Like, well, we won't jump over it, we'll draw it in. So it just comes up this way, like so. This meets another line on his shoulder. It comes down this way. And back in towards his finger. And then this is a double line. Just there. And then we can see a yellow portion just there. And then maybe a full line for his clothes. And then the bottom of that belt, just here. And then 2 lines there. And 2 here. Now, finally we can finish the UA. So here, comes across. We can see some of that in here. Comes across down like that. And then the A, so we can barely see, we can see the top of it, just here. We can see some more of it here, and then some here, and then it comes across his stomach, then back up here, down like so. We've got some fold lines for his uniform just here, because he's like stretching this way. And then we've the bottom of that A, so it comes down into here, comes across. So this is the, I don't know if you can make it out, but this is the U, and this is the A here that goes off my page. And then we have the center line for his uniform. So it comes down this way. Like so. Right, so that other arm is like stretching out to stop Todoroki's other arm. So we just do a line coming across this way. Like so. Then we have a fold just here. And then this curves around his forearm. So it goes like around like so. And comes back in towards his chin, like that. This is other outstretched shoulder. And then there is like a yellow section or a white section, and then some folds just going in towards his armpit, just to show the direction, just there. So his forearm, so we go up, across, coming out of here. And then the underneath line for his forearm, just here. And then comes up like so. This line comes up to the back of his hand, just there. And then the back of his hand is going to start like here. And it comes down and into here. And then the bottom of his hand here. Some hatching just there. And of course this goes into his thumb. So it goes around his thumb. So. And then he has a thumbnail just here. Then we have like that piece of webbing that joins his thumb to his index finger. So we go that way. And then his index finger is going to start. So it comes up this way. Comes around here. Goes around the top with that finger. Back in to there. Bumping every now and then for knuckles and stuff. And then we've a nail just on top. This comes up for his middle finger. Up and around here. Comes around the top of that finger. Comes down. Like so. Back down. There. And then we have a knuckle that sort of sticks out here. Then the next finger just kind of sits behind this one, so it comes out here, comes down this way, bumps down around for a knuckle every now and then, comes in this way. And then we can see his fingernail just here. And then this is going to go in to here, to the back of his hand. And then we can just see the little finger sticking out sort of at the back, just here. And then there's like a couple of knuckles and stuff, just here. Like that. And of course on this hand he has those energy charging up sort of all one for all lines. And so you could draw the red, they should be drawn with the red colour, but because the outside line is red. So, but I'll draw them in black just so you can see them. So there, it's kind of like a webbing. So we have a line underneath that. This comes down like so. It's like a lightning like crawling over his body. This comes down here like so. Bring it back down into there, into his wrist. Another line comes back. Maybe it gets like skinnier in some portions, like that. And then bring that in like there. Back in across. Up around his wrist. And then there's some coming on his hand as well. So we've some just here. Coming around his finger here. So here. So in here. Coming down. So it just looks like a webbing that's on his skin. That's what you're going for. Yeah, I think that's enough. So now, Todoroki. So Todoroki's nose is like right across from his hand, just here, the tip of his nose. It's like a V is, again, kind of like Midoriya's. So it comes down like this, and then it comes down this way. Then this comes down to here. This is like the line for his face. His chin is like right down here. And then his jaw is going to come back this way. Like so. So his mouth from about here, just like underneath his nose. So like that. And then maybe a line for like his bottom lip, just here. So then his eyebrow, let's see. Well, we have a spike, a hair spike just here. So that fringe that he has, just coming down over his nose, just here first. And then his eyebrow is going to come out from that hair spike. So it's going to go back this way. And it's going to go underneath hair as well. And then his top eyelid line is going to come out from that eyebrow, diagonal back this way. And then his inside eye line is just here. And then this curves underneath. And then comes back up towards the back there. And then his pupil, just in here, slender circle, looking towards kind of Midoriya's hand, trying to block it. And then he has some sort of stress lines or worry lines on his eye here, following the shape for the side of his eye. Maybe a line coming out here towards his nose as well. And maybe an eyelid line or two, just in here. Right, so most of his forehead is covered with hair. So we're going to go spiking up this way. So he's got lots of sort of hair lines and sort of lines that show the direction of his hair. So we'll add the ones that come across his fringe first, that go towards his ear. And then we'll do the ones here and go around his head. Okay, so another one here. This one comes down over his eye. Comes back up. Another sort of hairline in there. Another one inside here. Another one here. Comes up this way. This one comes down past the back of his eye. Down to about here. And then this spikes down like that. This is a spike that comes back up to about there. This comes back up this way. And then we can see one kind of here, another one there, spiking up like so, and maybe a long one coming across here. Okay, so his ear is just in here. So it kind of curves this way, comes down, in towards his earlobe, and then we've a slight line for his jaw just there. With some hatching sort of coming down that way. And then the underside of his neck, in here. Comes out this way, and there's like a shadow under here. And then there's some ear ligaments and bones and stuff inside here. And then we have more hair spikes, lots of them, all coming out around his head. So all coming out like this way. All following like this direction on his head. Another one coming down top of his ear, goes back up this way. Another one. So then we have some small ones that come out from behind his ear. So here, spiking down, spiking back up to here, back, like so. So they're all going this direction now, like the wind is pushing the hair back. And then we might have some hairlines and stuff going in this way. Another hair spike inside here. Coming up towards the center of his head. And we'll keep on trucking, going this way. Adding more hair spikes in here. So this is probably the most detailed part of Todoroki. It's his actual hair. So more spiking this way. This is probably this way. Right down like so. This comes that way, this comes that way. Bring it up that way. Another spike here, spiking down. Right, and now we can start coming down the front. Finally. This is like two bumpy parts, and this comes down towards the front of his fringe. It has a spike, and then we go down like so. Spike back up. And we go back in towards his nose. Spike up into here like so, and then there's like a darker section going in across his face on the other side. And then of course we need that line that separates the ice from the fire. So it comes out where, let's say right here. So we're going to separate the ice and fire now. This way. Bring it up like so. Spike every now and then. Down to there. Back up. And again. Bumps up and around. And then goes back towards the back of his head. Into here. And there might be some wavy lines every now and then, just there. Maybe another one here. And then we just add some hairlines, some like texture lines and stuff, just in here. Right, so this elbow is like sticking out just up here. So, like, oh, right up here. It comes in towards Midoriya's hand. Curves around like so. And it's going to come in towards his hand, but it's going to come out. His forearm is going to come out somewhere around here. And it's going to curve like so. And then the inside of his forearm is going to come down into here. Like so. And then it comes across the back of his hand. So this hand is like guarding the other hand. Like guarding against this. Right, so his little finger then comes out this way. So it comes out, down, in like so, kind of curves around. Curves around here. Comes back in. We have a bump for skin. Then another line coming up this way. And we can see kind of his fingernail just here. And then his next finger coming out here, coming around, back up into there, fingernail. Next finger. Coming around into there. And there's a fingernail on top of that. And then here. Next one there. And then a fingernail on top of that one. So then this runs onto his thumb. So it comes this way. Down like so. And then a curved line for his thumb, just here. And then this comes up and around. And then we hit like a knuckle for his hand, and this comes up into his wrist. And we have a line for that wrist bone, one or two of them. And then we can see the line for the inside of his hand, just here. So that comes in and around this way. Back into there. And it kind of comes in towards that finger, just in there. Maybe another line for this finger, maybe just there. And maybe a wrist sort of line there. And the inside of his uniform goes back into his face, just there. His sleeve of his uniform, just in there. Alright. So, his shoulder is just here. So that means his collar is just here. And then this goes up towards his neck, which runs across right up to this hair. Just there. And then the inside of his collar is just here. And we have an inside line like that. So then his shoulder runs down towards his arm, bumping, because we have these fold lines for his clothes. Bumping down like so. It's about here. And then we have a fold line. And then a bump around his arm. Kind of like Midoriya's here. This comes back and in to there. And then the rest of his arm runs back towards his body. To like there. And then we have an armpit line. Like so. Before we finish this, we might as well finish the rest of his body. So this runs back this way. Up to here. And then we have a box that represents sort of a bandage, or, you know, those things they had to steal from each other in the tournament or the training. Like that. And then This comes up like so. And then we have another line coming down to here, running underneath his hair here. And then we have those parts that stick out, so just waving, sort of coming off there. This comes out that way. Another one here. Another line here. So these are just like the ends of this scarf or thing that he's wearing it around his neck, so I'm just going to call it a scarf. And then you bring this line then off this way. Right, so then the line for his body down here just comes back this way. Forward lines like that. So that's a long one. And then we have a real long forward line just going that way. Then another one that way. And then maybe there for his shoulder. And then we have like the UA, some of that UA symbol. So it like comes out from up here and then goes down off my page there. And this side comes out and down, comes back that way a little bit. And then the inside lines for that are up here. So 1, 2, like so. And then there's an extra fold line just here, and we have some lines on his shoulder as well. So these like follow the shape for his shoulder, and they kind of bump around these folds. Just to show that they're actually sitting on his clothes and they're not just floating sort of on top like that. Like so. Right, so his arm, and then we are done. So the arm here. So it comes out this way. It's going to meet his wrist line, so it just comes up this way then. So 2 lines. And then this kind of curves up this way, like so. The underneath of that is like his elbow down here. And then this is going to curve up this way. Up towards his wrist, and it bumps out for that wrist bone just there, and then his hand comes out here. And then we might have a line just for his arm here. Like that. Then another one maybe here. And maybe like an elbow line just coming up in here. Right, so his hand just kind of starts here. So like this is the fold lines for where it's folding on his wrist. Just there, and then right, we'll do his thumb. So this comes up to his thumb first, just underneath Midoriya's hand here. Comes up, comes around, like so. Thumbnail is in here. And then the inside line for the thumb there. And then like this hand is trying to get in to Midoriya's face up here. So we're going to go like across this way, up to there, bring it around like so. So this video is going to be a long one because it has, I know it has 4 hands in it, so hands always really take a long time. So this curves here, so apologies for the long length, but it has to be done. This curves up and around. I'll speed up a little bit. Like that. 1, 2. It's got a fingernail in here. Fingernail in here. And knuckle lines just here. Then maybe there. Then this comes back up towards his ring finger, curves around, comes in like so. Got a knuckle and there, and then hand line. This goes longer. Hand line there. And then what we can see of his little finger, so it just comes down this way. Comes back in. Kind of bumps a little bit into his hand, just in there. And then we've got some skin and knuckle lines just here. And so if you want, you can add sort of some flames and stuff coming out of Todoroki's arm here. Kind of coming out this way. Coming all back. Like his arm is on fire. And of course you can add as much of that as you want, but I'm going to leave it there. There you go. Todoroki versus Midoriya. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.